Hello and welcome to June and the Silver Linings Talk Show. We're so excited to be here.
I know.
It's June already, wow.
So I know we're missing somebody, but she's coming on next with a really special guest. So, you know, it's just going to be us two for now. Dina will be with us, you know, with a special guest. But June, what do you think of when you think of June?
Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Warm weather.
I know. So Father's Day. I always love to share this history, right?
Yes.
So Father's Day. It started to come to be when these young women, first was this young woman who was in this church, right? And she wanted to honor these fathers that, because 361 had died in this horrific mine accident, right? I know, I felt, it was so sweet, right? So she had kind of proposed that they honor these dads because of this cause. Isn't that heart-wrenching?
Yeah.
But then this other woman by the name of Sonora Dodd had listened to this amazing sermon on Mother's Day, right? And here she is thinking, my dad, her father was a widower, raising 6 kids. And Sonora is a 16-year-old listening to this Mother's Day sermon and thinking, why isn't there a Father's Day? And this is back in, you know, the early 1900s. So she kind of starts asking the question, why isn't there a Father's Day? And you know what the response is?
What? I'm curious. What?
It's kind of like, why? Why does there need to be a Father's Day? And it makes me wonder, do you think it's because like dads are so like strong and...
Well, I think back in that time period, yes. Today, I think things have changed so much that dads are now staying at home with the kids more, and it's just times have changed. But I can understand that way back then, that yes.
So it took until like the 1924, Calvin Coolidge is like, okay, yeah, I recognize that. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until 1972 that it was actually signed into law by Richard Nixon.
Very interesting.
I know, so we're finally celebrating it the third Sunday in June. We get to honor fathers.
Yes.
And I love that. And
I do too.
It resonates though to think about that in the context that they almost didn't really think that it was something that needed to be when Mother's Day has been recognized for so much longer. So here's to dads, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have some pictures that our viewers sent in. So we're going to take a peek at those now.
Yay.
So we're wearing blue. Why would that be? Well, it's Men's Health Awareness Month, and we really focus on that. I think it's like this week. And, you know, men really have had the same results, same problems, same health problems for the longest time. It's cardiovascular disease, it's respiratory ailments, it's stress that ends up creating mental health problems. And these are things that tend to
linger.
Yeah, like because they don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Do you hear this a lot too?
Yes, I just signed my husband up for a physical.
Because he didn't do it himself, right?
Because he feels fine. He feels fine. I'm like, you need a physical just to go and check everything out. So
And these
just did that.
are things that sometimes are underlying that you don't really know. So I think it's really important, men specifically, because you don't really know if there's a cardiovascular issue until it's too late. So important to go get checked and to know what's going on. But some of the things that you can do to maybe help are maybe meatless Monday, because a lot of those animal proteins can really build up in your arteries.
Okay.
And what do you think about like all these farmers markets that we're having?
Yeah.
Like, fill your plate up with more vegetables, because that's really going to help your cardiovascular health. Getting outdoors and addressing, like mindfulness, addressing what's going on too. Like, don't be afraid to do that. It's your month, it's an awareness month, so we're here to bring awareness to that. Talk to the people in your life who are there for you. Don't you feel like that's important?
Well, yeah.
The fact that you had to bring, this up to your husband, I think that's right there.
Yeah, ladies, so go ahead and make that appointment for him if he's not doing it.
Right.
He'll go, he just won't make the appointment.
So I think it's important for the men in your lives, and for those men out there, just make that call.
I do too.
To get that check, because it's really important. But what else can we do to feel better if we're a man? Like,
Do you mean
have
like
some tips.
fashion-wise?
Yeah, you have some tips, because
have some
it's not
fashion
just all
tips.
about health,
Yeah,
right?
I have fashion tips for men.
It's about looking better, right?
Yeah, it's about looking better.
Because that makes you feel better.
It sure does. And I know a lot of guys are working from home these days, so some of the trends right now are the quarter zip sweaters or the quarter zip polo shirts. Polo shirts are really big right now. And I love the whole layered look for men. I love like a 5-pocket jean or chino, and then do like maybe a long sleeve polo shirt, and then do an indoor vest, a vest that just tops things off and pulls the whole outfit together. And trending for men too right now are sport coats, and just wearing a sport coat with like a really nice jean, a good fit jean, like a DL 1961 or one of those jeans that has a little bit of stretch to it. So not like the jeans that you just buy that have just the jean fabric, because those jeans on a man's body, it won't hug their butt. It just like looks flat. And I love when a guy has a really great pair of jeans on and you can see their butt. I mean, it looks so much better than just a flat, baggy pant jean. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree, 100%.
Which is a great Father's Day gift, by the way. Instead of all those ties that we used to give our dads, right?
Spot on.
Let's do a great pair of jeans for dad, or a great polo shirt, or something like that they can wear for their Zoom calls and feel snazzy, and color. Men always look good in blue. That's one of my favorites. And then just trending is some more fun colors. Like there's a really pretty burgundy sport coat that I love, just with a pair of jeans, and you can get it unconstructed, so it's not so stuffy and padded like a real men's sport coat is. It's more flexible and it feels really good on. And if your guy has never been to a stylist, some stylists charge by the hour, and some it's all included. Like what I do, it's all included. So if you ever, just need some tips, or need your guy styled, or need something new, look into having a stylist, because guys like to look good too, and sometimes they just need a revamp. A little, like my husband. We were talking about that, the other day, and I was telling Lynn that my husband, he's like, I don't need, clothes from a stylist. I know what I like, blah, blah, blah. Well, I got him a shirt, and we measured him, and we got it all made for him specifically. And he put it on, and he looked in the mirror, and the first thing he said was, oh my God, I look like I've lost like 15 pounds. And I'm like, well, yes, because the shoulders of the shirt aren't down here, you know, and the sleeves aren't down here, and everything is all put together and tucked in, and it looked just really, it just made him look so much slimmer, and his physique just looked so much better.
It's really about fit.
It's about fit.
It's not about, you know, when it comes down to it, I think that's true for everybody.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Well, great tips. I
Yay.
love that. I'm gonna go shopping for my husband.
Yay.
Thank you for motivating me.
Yay. Go out and get your dad something.
Or your husband.
Or your husband.
I am super excited to share with you our very special guest today, Robin Fox. And Robin is a social emotional learning educator, a professional improv actor, and a curriculum creator. So many amazing things. So I would love for you to share a little bit about you and kind of how you went from educator to improv to entrepreneur.
All very good questions. I was finishing my last few years of teaching. I was a public school special education teacher for 37 years. And at the end of my career, I was working with a group of high school kids, and I was delivering a social emotional learning curriculum. And it was like digging into the areas that were so hard for them. My heart hurt because, you know, they just were having trouble sitting still and being flexible and making eye contact. And I just, one day, decided that we would do an improv warm-up just because they deserved it and I knew it would be fun. So I played a simple game called Pass the Clap, where you have to turn to the person next to you and clap at the same time, and then they turn to the person next to them and clap at the same time, and it goes around the circle. And when we finished, my I don't like playing and I don't want to be in this group kids said, we want more. And then it hit me like a snowball in summer that this is teaching the very things that I am charged with having them learn, but they were enjoying it. It taught them flexibility. It taught them how to make a plan with somebody else, to be aware socially of what's going on, and to make eye contact and see what was, you know, happening with the other person. So that's where it started, and it ended up with a full curriculum that combines improv, mindfulness, and cognitive behavioral therapy.
Awesome. So we were going to kind of talk a little bit about each of those three pieces with also an activity that you've created that can kind of focus on the mindfulness, the thoughtfulness, and the playfulness to help that connection and that social emotional learning. Can we just kind of highlight each one of those pieces of it?
I would love to.
Great.
When I work with groups and train people to work with groups, the first thing we want to do is check in emotionally. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. But one of the things that is really hard for many kids is to even tune in to know how they're feeling. Sometimes it's even just to tune in. So I start with them being aware of things. So it might start out with, find something in the room that's blue, and they go look for something that's blue. Now find something that's shiny, and they'll look for something that's shiny. So now we're getting in the present moment. Then I have them close their eyes, and we do something called breathing fingers. And I have a poster right here of breathing fingers. So breathing fingers is a way to get kids to use their bodies as they become mindful. It's a meditation that's very simple. So basically, you hold your thumb with your index finger, and you take a breath, and then you switch to your middle finger, and you take another breath. You breathe in for 4, hold it for 2, and then out really slowly for 5, because breathing out more slowly activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which signals through the vagus nerve that everything is okay. My world is okay. And then, because I want them to, after we finish doing 1 or 2 rounds of the breathing fingers, if I feel like they're very low energy, we'll also do a stand-up breathing, which is really simple. I'm going to stand up for this. But we start down here, And what we do is we breathe in for 4 as we stand up and raise our hands over our head. And then we look up and then we come down again. So here we go, ready? So stand up, 2, 3, 4, look up at the sky and hold it. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
And we do a few rounds of that, and then we're ready for some cognitive awareness. The thoughtfulness.
Okay.
So for thoughtfulness, there's usually an activity every group, a different activity, but we keep reviewing them. And this one's a foundational activity. It's called Stand Tall. And TALL is an acronym for think on purpose, act on purpose, look on purpose, and listen on purpose. And those things are, again, bringing the mindfulness into your life by being thoughtful about everything you do. How you think about things. Are these thoughts helping me, or are they bringing me down? Are they serving me? Are they serving my goals? Am I acting on purpose? Am I doing things that will have a good outcome? Is it being responsible? Am I looking on purpose? Am I taking in what's around me? What clues can I, use to be more productively social, to be a contributing person to a situation, to build it better? And
here's
then,
our perspective.
Yes, exactly.
And here's our ability to really focus on the connection with how our actions can impact others and ourselves, and like you said, the outcome. Very cool.
And then listening on purpose is the last one, and that's probably the most important one, because we listen with our own agenda in mind. We listen getting ready to speak. But if we can really listen, and I have a lot of exercises that teach listening skills, because that is the way that we bridge this divide between humans.
Nice.
That's how we connect, is by listening and caring.
And I think definitely knowing how this past year has been, we all want that connection.
Yeah.
And connection is a human desire. And it's a desire for everyone. And you probably have seen it too, like in the studies, is the #1 predictor of success is connection.
Yes, and that's the improv exercise we're doing next. Yes,
okay,
and. It is listening and building. And the improv exercise that we're going to play with today is yes, and. It's the foundational exercise of improv. You listen, and then you say yes. And even just saying those words makes me feel like, oh, something fun is coming. And so, yes, and the basic exercise is I make a statement, and then you affirm it, and then add on to it. As you get to be familiar with improv, you don't have to say yes and each time. You just do that with the dialogue that you are saying.
We could practice 1 round.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Cool.
Today is such a beautiful day.
Yes, and it's also high pollen. So some people are not too happy with today to go outside.
Yes, and boy, do our masks have double purposes now.
Absolutely.
So yes and is a very interesting skill that is the basis of a lot of different games. And one of the games is, I love that because, and we pretend we're a production design team, and we're creating this amazing product. And what we assign to it does not have to follow laws of physics, and it doesn't have to be true or real, really getting kids to feel their imagination and to break out of this idea of it's, this is the only thing that's possible. So we each add on a kind of wonderful feature to it, and we say, oh, I love that because, which is yes and. Great. And so it teaches them to work in groups, be flexible, other perspectives, be positive, and it's just, kids have to work in groups in schools from, as soon as they walk in the door, when they're really little, until they graduate in college and beyond, at work. We don't teach kids how to work in groups. So being receptive and adding on and respecting each other and being flexible are so important.
Right.
And when you play a game to make that happen,
I know.
win-win.
We're learning and having fun. So you are involved in another really amazing project, which also ties into some of these social emotional challenges, which is an anti-bullying project.
Yes.
Could you kind of just touch base a little bit on that?
This is such an amazing program. Jill Nessie, who is a songwriter and producer, made the video that you're going to see, a little piece of, and it's to help kids identify with and to understand how mean behavior can really, really devastate people. And also and then there's a guide that I wrote to go with it, along with some grad students from CCSU. And it helps kids to understand the difference between just kidding and hurtful behavior. It helps them become an upstander. It helps them learn the difference between aggressive, assertive, and passive behaviors. They get to learn about positive school climate and practice understanding, is my school fitting that bill? And if it's not, where can we improve and how can I take action steps to help my school become better? And where are we succeeding? Let's celebrate the successes. So it's a pretty comprehensive program that was commissioned by the Connecticut Commission for Women, Children, Seniors, Equity, and Opportunity by Stephen Hernandez, who is the executive director. And he's so passionate about using the arts to change hearts.
That's awesome. Can we see a trailer of the video that you guys have created?
Let's watch.
Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Lawrence, and I'll be singing a song. Good luck, Taylor Swift wannabe. You suck. Lost and all alone. Who are you?
It's me, Ian. The way Rhea treated you today, that was horrible.
That's every day for me.
I have something I want you to see.
The Rockville talent show's coming up.
A talent show? Well, you'll need all the help you can get, just not from me.
My mother would never speak to me that way.
You are not alone.
Bring on tomorrow. Bring it on,
bring it on, bring it on, bring it
so,
on. Bring it on, 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 b Bring on tomorrow.
That was wonderful.
The full length film is 25 minutes. It's available to all schools in Connecticut, along with a 50-page activity guide. There's one version for online and one version for in-person that covers relationships, empathy building, and friendships.
Awesome. I love how you're just creating this really powerful work that is impacting lives. So thank you, because it's so meaningful. And I also just wanted to share that you created something beautiful for us today.
Oh.
Could you share a poem that you wrote in honor of being here today?
Yes, I love the name of your show.
Thank you.
And I know that I personally had to overcome a lot of traumas in my life to get to a point where I can see the silver lining. And that's why I created these programs too, is because I don't want to have kids and adults suffer needlessly. If there are ways to really see the beauty in life, to overcome some of the negative programming that we've had, and we can do that. We can do that, and our children can do that. So here's the little poem that I wrote.
I'm so excited.
My mind recalls the dreamy days of childhood fields in carefree play that extended into starlit nights, flying bright-eyed hopes on moonbeam light. But too soon, stung by a host of fears, as I grew, so did my cares. But it's time that we hide no more from the dreams we seek and the play we cast away, because they're only a silver lining away.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Dina.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, and just if someone would like more information, how can they contact you?
They can contact me by writing to www.social-eyes.org. It's right here,
Great.
social-eyes.org. And I'll be happy to help them get the video and the guide and answer any questions that they might
Wonderful.
have.
And Robin, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show
Thank you.
and with us today. And on behalf of Lynn and Diane and myself, we wanted to thank you for watching today, and we want to leave you with the thought of always looking for the silver lining in your day.